Welcome back to my podcast series. I have Shourya Pratap Singh all the way from VIT Chennai with me. In fact, he is in his hostel room right now. तो शौर्य का अगर इंट्रोडक्शन दूँ, I don't think one line में तो हो नहीं पाएगा. But he's into hackathons, he's into MLs, he's won a couple of hackathons, and he has also been a research assistant, right, at National
Intern, yeah.
University, which is a really reputed university all over the world. तो शौर्य भाई और कुछ इंट्रोडक्शन में बच गया तो बता दो ऑडियंस को.
I don't think. I think that's more than enough. इससे ज़्यादा कुछ नहीं ज़रूरत है. Hello everybody, कैसे हो? So yeah.
Okay. तो शौर्य भाई पहले तो बात करते हैं जेई के पहले का क्या सीन था भाई 11th 12th के पहले
जेई के पहले का before 11th 12th so before 11th 12th तो मैं बिशप्स गया था. So I this ICSC में था, बिशप्स था. So you know the schooling life was way different than what happened in JEE and what's happening now. उस वक्त तो I was more involved in stuff like quizzes वगैरह, debates वगैरह, and more quizzes and more writing. I used to write a lot back then. So I मेरे को उस वक्त इंटरेस्ट ज़्यादा इंग्लिश वगैरह, हिस्ट्री वगैरह में था. I never thought I would ever actually get, not get, but like do what I'm doing right now. But yeah, so before Jay, I used to write, I used to read stuff like that, and I don't know if this is known or not, but I was like a Times NI star correspondent back in the day. Times NI schools में आता था जो. So yeah, that happened before Jay, and I mean before Jay, it's quite different because मैं 11th 12th से नहीं, मैं बाकलीवाल में था. I from 9th and 10th, like I was there for foundation, and so like around that time, a lot of my friends started going to coaching and stuff. That's why I was like, चलो चलते हैं, अच्छी चीज लगती है, सुनने में कर सकते हैं, ये doable. बॉम्बे CS यही तो चाहिए और कुछ नहीं जा सकते. But yeah, so 9th 10th was there, and around 11th 12th, of course, then I shifted to Orbis for 11th 12th. COVID भी आ गया, so that was there. But yeah, so that's something like I think a lot of people who know me only from Bakliyar wouldn't know that about me. Yeah, that's it.
I think I even saw your article. I think there was one. I think you're in 9th or 10th, right? I think you put it on LinkedIn. If I'm not wrong.
नहीं so it was related to it was 2020 lockdown के वक्त था. So if you remember during the very initial lockdown there was this boys locker room controversy.
Correct.
So और मैंने उस पे लिखा था. I also wrote something on the Chinese monopoly because at that point it was India China controversy जितनी हो रही थी. So I wrote both those articles, but these are like 2020, back in 2020, yeah. And
long time
back. It's funny you said LinkedIn because it was on Instagram, and I remember the first comment that came on that post was Albash saying, "Bro thinks his Instagram is his LinkedIn." So I was like, "Acha, why do people remember it as LinkedIn? By Instagram पे डाला था मैंने. Come on."
I don't know. It was because usually people डालते नहीं ना ये सब. Insta, it's more like chill over life. And once you enter LinkedIn, you're like, what am I doing?
Okay.
So Shaurya ने बताया, I think typical, like not typical, I wouldn't say being in Times of India, like working out with them would be typical. But like he said, he was into social science and all that. I think generally engineering का वही रहता है रे. किसी को करना नहीं रहता. Then after like क्या करते हैं तो like science ले लेते सब ले. And then I'm really into JEE and all that. And as you said, journey तो बहुत अलग है. That is really true. Like in JEE, you're not.
No, I mean it's not like I was not interested in science or science. It's just that I was not involved in it.
Yeah.
Before 9. कि हाँ ये भी होता है. It's like हाँ ठीक है.
Generally वही होता है, like you're not that involved, but एक बार coaching वगैरह में आए and then slowly I think you start adapting to it. तो कोचिंग में क्या सीन इनिशियली मतलब कैसे थे बिफोर लाइक आई डोंट नो बिफोर एग्जाम्स क्या था कैसा था मतलब
I mean to be honest so I really think my academic journey was quite weird. It was like 7th 8th 9th के around, like I was studying well And so even in ninth, I was like in COC Lloyd's morning, Sunday morning. That was like a good batch. उसमें साहू वगैरह थे सब. And but like for some reason I don't know. 10th में पढ़ाई नहीं हुई मेरे से. उनने मेरे को भेज दिया था. एक होता था. So in basic there is COC champions.
Yeah.
उनने I think उनने मेरे लिए बनाया था champions plus. He's like तो बीच में रहा भाई. उसमें मुझे उसमें डाल दिया था. फिर I came back to COC. But yeah, I would say since I've been in Bakliwala, it's been very wavy types. कभी इधर कभी हम top पे पहुंच गए, कभी नीचे आ गए. It's never been consistent उसके बाद से. But yeah, even in like 11th 12th ऐसा एक बार हो गया मैं Viz पहुंच गया था. I was in Viz 2. I think I was in Viz 2. This was back in December 2020.
Before
modern physics. हाँ. Before GPT-1. तो उसमें क्या हुआ, मॉडर्न फिजिक्स वगैरह का बी टेस्ट था. मॉडर्न फिजिक्स मेरे को बढ़िया से आती थी, तो मैं पहुंच गया विज. फिर वहां पे हमने पढ़ा सॉलिड स्टेट और वो मेरे से हुआ नहीं, तो मैं पहुंच गया COC 4. बहुत बढ़िया ग्राफ हो रहा था मेरा. बट फिर उसके बट यूजुअली आई वाज लाइक समवेयर इन द मिडिल इन बाकी वाले में.
और गाइस जो उसने साहू मेंशन किया, आई थिंक प्रतीक साहू, राइट?
Yeah. Pratik Sahu.
The person is mentioning he got ranked.
Yeah.
And at one point there were around 9 batches. I think each batch had 3 other batches. So out of total 9 batches, Shourya has mentioned which 2 में था. So like you can understand. Then I think Pune में तो मालूम है सबको BT का level क्या है. So I don't think I need to talk too much about that. तो हाँ भाई, फिर लास्ट में मतलब ये VIT का कभी मालूम पड़ा कि इसका भी कुछ एग्जाम होता है. और then like how did you end up in VIT after all of this?
I end up in VIT. Okay, so like around वही revision के वक्त there was this thing that एक बार M4 सर वैभव बर्नवाल सर बैठ के समझा रहे थे कि देखो JEE एक एग्जाम होता है, पर और भी 10 एग्जाम होते हैं, सब देना. तो लाइक हाँ सब देंगे. उसमें ये भी था, मणिपाल था, उसमें VIT ट्रिपल था, CET वगैरह. I mean I knew that there is going to be a lot of exams that I'll have to give. But then I was like, okay, let's cut down on the number of exams. ऐसा नहीं कि मैं अमृता विश्व विद्यापीठम का भी एग्जाम दे रहा हूँ, नहीं. तो I was like, okay, we can give VIT triple E, we can give Manipal, we can give like CET वगैरह, bits of course देना है. And so I gave VIT triple E, and I don't know, I think I got like a 15,000 rank. I don't remember क्या rank आई थी मेरी, but जो भी rank आई थी. So in VIT there's this system, category system. So it's like a category 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and जितने अच्छे रैंक है उतना तुम्हें कम फीस भरनी लगती है. तो I got category 2. तो I was like, okay, fair enough, मिडिल में ठीक ठाक कम ही फीस है. So I got CS in cyber physical systems. Now that I look back, BA artificial intelligence and AIML मिल गया होता तो better रहता. But anyway, so I got CS CPS Cat 2. This was in July 2022 तब मिला था. And I mean मेरे घर वाले तो बोलते कि जैसे मिल गया तो तुम्हें पढ़ना बंद कर दिया था, but it's not like that. मैं पढ़ाई की थी, मिलने के बाद भी मैं पढ़ाई की थी. So yeah, that's how I ended up in VIT. But it's never like I was like कि भाई VIT जाना है. नहीं. No one should be like that कि भाई VIT जाना. No. I did not even research about VIT even after it was finalized that I'm going to VIT. मतलब मैंने VIT के मैं photos नहीं देखे थे. I did not know what the mess was. I did not know what the faculties were. Because like the first time I saw what VIT is was when I reached VIT Chennai. I was like, oh, इसको VIT बोलते हैं. So I did not do any research, but there was no better option that I was getting anyway for CS. So this is where it was.
तो तेरा CS का ज्यादा था क्या? Like priority probably CS के लिए ज्यादा लोग कर रहे थे.
Yeah. I actually wanted to do CS because so there were two things. I did not want to do electrical or electronics. So like circuit branches में there was, I don't think anything that I wanted to do. Otherwise, I had some interest in like aerospace and stuff, but then it was a way longer learning curve than the one that I would have to take in CS. Because in CS, like I knew some concepts, understood a few things pehle se hi. So it's not like I was new to the world. I was like, okay, yeah, this sounds good. Let's do this. That's why CS for preference here.
तो भाई वीआईटी का लेट्स जस्ट टॉक अबाउट द एक्सपीरियंस लाइक यू सेड भाई पहली बार मैं आया तो फिर देखा ये वीआईटी लाइक हाउ वाज द एक्सपीरियंस जैसे छिछोरे मूवी यू नो राइट लाइक उसमें जैसे दिखा एंड ही जस्ट एंटर्स द इंस्टीट्यूट एंड देन ही इज लाइक रियली शॉक्ड व्हेन ही इनिशियली एंटर्स तो तेरा क्या था भाई मतलब व्हेन यू एंटर्ड वीआईटी चेन्नई मतलब क्या वाइब्स आ रहे थे
Yeah, I mean, so when I entered VIT, I was so okay. This is a fun fact. A lot of people still do not know about this in VIT also. That I came to VIT 3 weeks after the admission date. So वो orientation और वो सब miss हो चुका था मेरा because I had dengue. So I had to miss 3 weeks of class and then मैं एकदम ऐसे बीच में semester बीच में I was like okay मेरे को भी admission चाहिए. So I came and they were like yeah sure. But because I had missed orientation and stuff, so I was assigned a random class. So I was new to the class. It was full of like local. Initially, it was difficult to make friends, but I think the hostel thing helped. Like I like my roommates. मेरे roommates बंगाली थे और बंगालियों के और भी बंगाली दोस्त थे. So I made a lot of Bengali friends that way. The thing was, I still remember I cried myself to sleep as one of yeah.
So like Shourya said, hostel में गया, so he was late, right? As you mentioned, 3 weeks late, and then उसने roommates. Were there your roommates? Bengali roommates, right? You mentioned. So he made some new friends.
Yeah, they were.
Okay. Mention किया कि he got used to things. How much time did it take? Because hostel में थोड़ा initially time लगता है, especially for people that haven't really lived in that environment. तो लाइक कितना टाइम लगा कि हाँ लाइक you'd say कि उसके बाद यूज टू हो गया
I think it took like 1 week, 2 weeks at max. मतलब once you get into a routine, once you know where to go and what to do, and once you don't have to think, like you can go on an autopilot mode. I think that's when it's like you get used to, and I think it took like a week. It's good. एक हफ्ते में I knew who to talk to, who to go to, who to turn to. So I was like, yeah, chill. It was nice, and I had good faculties. I had good supportive faculties. I mean, I was still talking to my Sem1 faculties the other day, and I still think that having good faculties was really important back in Sem1. Yeah.
तो अभी थोड़ा हम लोग बाकी चीजों के बारे में बात करते हैं लाइक फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल आई लाइक टू आस्क फर्स्ट ईयर स्टूडेंट को क्या करना चाहिए लाइक लर्निंग फ्रॉम योर मिस्टेक्स और जो तूने अच्छे से किया हो क्योंकि कॉलेज में आते ही लाइक यू आर बम्बार्डेड विद अ लॉट ऑफ स्टफ रिगार्डलेस ऑफ व्हाट कॉलेज यू आर इन लाइक मेरे दोस्त रहते हैं आई डोंट नो देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ स्टफ स्पेशली कमिंग आउट ऑफ जेई जहाँ पे कुछ सोशल लाइफ आई वोंट से यू रियली हैव अ सोशल लाइफ टू बी वेरी ऑनेस्ट एंड ओके टाइम पे तो कोविड था तो लाइक एनीवेज कुछ नहीं था सोशल लाइफ
एग्जैक्टली
तो व्हाट वुड योर एडवाइस बी टू लाइक कोई स्टूडेंट जो अभी एंटर कर रहा है रिगार्डलेस ऑफ द फैक्ट कि कौन से कॉलेज में पढ़ रहा है क्या करना चाहिए
I mean, honestly, if like I'll answer from a CS perspective, of course, but you don't have to like get. This is not JEE again. This is not JEE all over again. So you have to realize you can take it chill. Coursework is not that much. You, ठीक है, be consistent. थोड़ा पढ़ लिया, ये कर लिया, वो कर लिया, and then I'd say during maybe Sem1, like अभी Sem1 शुरू हो रहा होगा लोगों का. So it would be nice if you socialize, if you make friends, if you do something, and that maybe learn a new talent, guitar सीख लो, ये कर लो, वो कर लो, cricket खेलो, football खेलो, because so like try to normalize life as much as possible from like the JEE thing down, थोड़ा normal करो, get into a lot of things, explore your talents, explore your likes and dislikes, क्योंकि at some point you'll get back into a rat race that's called DSA. वो तो कभी ना कभी सेकंड ईयर कोई ना कोई कभी ना कभी हो ही जाएगा. So I say if you're in first year, start do a lot of other things, attend whatever you can, go to different places, make new friends.
Sorry, now that you have mentioned DSA, तो पहली बात है DSA और डेवलपमेंट का डिबेट, would you want to say anything? ठीक है, I don't think we should go into that. But DSA के बारे में क्या, like did you like were you into DSA at any point or like
no, I mean from second sem end I started like with Flutter and TensorFlow. So I mean, so basically app dev and ML. but I never got into DSA. I mean, even third sem में मेरी जो DSA टीचर थी वो थोड़ी उनको थोड़ा हम लोग बना देते थे तो वो बन जाते थे. तो we never actually studied DSA. Towards like end of second year, I started actually doing DSA as a lead code chef वगैरह करना शुरू किया. So I mean, I would say if you do DSA, it's not like कि तुम कितने questions तुम एक दिन में 20 question कर लिए. Okay, fair enough. You're smart. But I would say like the more consistently you keep doing DSA, you start to build a lot of logical thinking. Which I mean, it's kind of like puzzles. You remember if you remember Vaibhav Baklia sir saying कि भाई logic build karo, ye karo, wo karo. I think it's very close to that. And like okay, so during the course of the summer, I did do a lot of I did a little bit of lead code alongside my intern at NTU, and I'd say a lot of things, a lot of patterns that I observed in thinking while doing DSA were very similar to the patterns I observed in thinking while trying to implement a certain unit or a transformer architecture. It's not the same thing, but the way of thinking of how this can proceed in DSA is quite similar to the way things proceed in probably you say ML.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean it's important कि तुम दोनों ही करो, because DSA नहीं होगा तो on campus नहीं लगेगा और dev नहीं होगा तो off campus नहीं लगेगा.
Correct.
Placement तो चाहिए ना.
Placement तो चाहिए. It's kind of like math, I would say. Like math, बहुत लोग after 10 said like it's no use and all that. You probably heard that logic, right? कि maths में क्या करें? I think DSA would be the same. I don't think you'd have to like implement a linked list at a job, but it's mainly logic, correct? Like if you're looking at linked list, there are various types of you can go on solving in that, like 2 pointers.
Exactly.
You know, there's many
exactly.
So I think that would really help build your logic. And one important thing you mentioned was कि quantity के पीछे मत जाओ. ये मैंने भी starting में थोड़ा बहुत किया था initially. मतलब ऐसा easy question करता था. But now I've got into a room where I'm trying to do 1 or 2 questions, but medium level का तो चाहिए minimum. Like जिससे I get to learn. ऐसा ना हो कि मतलब बस करे जा रहे and then you don't learn anything from that. तो कितना किया होगा just like audience को बताने के लिए. You mentioned थोड़ा किया है.
बहुत थोड़ा किया भाई. मैं लेट कोड में अभी थोड़े दिन पहले 100 हुआ. I think आज क्या संडे है ना?
हाँ.
I think Thursday को I completed 100.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. So अभी you mentioned ML a lot, right? So ML के बारे में I don't know. Like, talk about your journey a bit and how should a beginner start? Because I've seen a lot of people just running behind courses, and you know what they call tutorial help sort of thing. जहाँ पे वो courses ही करे, not building anything else. So like, did you also make that mistake or like were you more focused on like नहीं ठीक है मतलब concept आ गया अभी थोड़ा कुछ experiment करके देखते हैं बना के जो बनता है. Like what was your approach and what should be the approach according to you?
I mean honestly, this is very similar to how I also did dev. Okay. So Amritansh, Arin and I, so we are like VITians हम लोग, and we were we were developing Femunity, GDSC Solution Challenge 2023, and none of us knew anything about dev. So we just went in देखने की okay, if we want this feature कैसे होता है. And we don't care कि उसकी behind theory क्या. Okay, you inherit this, then you put an authorization layer, this layer, that architecture. No, उन्होंने बोला ये ऐसे होता है, कर दो, देखा जाएगा बाद में. So that's how I started dev. And I did a very similar thing in ML, and I think that's a wrong approach, because if you just keep doing that, it's wrong. But that's how you actually get started. And then if you feel that it's interesting to you, I think then you can get into the theory a bit. Because if it's not interesting, तुम theory में जाके भी क्या ही कर लो.
Correct.
You will just leave it at some point. So I think just dive into it. Keep okay. How do I implement this? But there's a very famous if you have done ML or if anyone's doing ML, there'll be a very famous thing that you will know about CNN. It's called AlexNet. So it's like the very first CNN architecture which very properly did the ImageNet classification, image classification and stuff. So if you maybe start with AlexNet or something like that, or maybe if you're doing something in ML classification regression, implement it सबसे पहले. You don't need to know हो क्या रहा है. तुम करके देखो, तुम्हें मजा आ जाए ना, तो फिर तुम get into the theory of it. I believe that's something you can start with, because if you get into tutorial hell, if you get into like, okay, I'll do Andrew NG का course कर लिया मैंने. Andrew NG is a great guy, by the way. His course is extraordinary. But if you just do that course and nothing else, then it's no use. So if you do a course, and I don't think you need to do a paid course. Free courses बहुत हैं, free resources बहुत हैं. So if you get into one of those free resources, just do it A to Z. Maybe implement an entire paper A to Z, or implement a type of thing A to Z, and I think that's start with that, and then get into the theory of it. And because math is very very math intensive. What did I say? I don't know what did I say. I am very sorry. ML is very math intensive. So if you have to do something, you'll have to do a lot of maths to improve what you're doing. नहीं तो ऐसे तो तुम वही एक black box बन के रह जाओगे कि कुछ हो रहा है, क्या हो रहा है नहीं मालूम. To understand what's happening, you have to do a lot of maths. It's a lot of vector algebra and a lot of bandit optimization and stuff like that. So like get in and then do the maths and the theory. Don't be like maths theory करेंगे फिर आएंगे.
Correct.
If you're an engineer, do it like in the study. Yeah.
Correct. So it's kind of like get your feet wet, and then after that you can sort of train. Like like you've probably seen that reel. I think it was a reel or something that someone didn't know how to swim. Some kid was there, so his I think father just threw him in the pool or whatever it was, and he just sort of learned how to swim. So it's kind of like that you sort of get your feet wet, but then after that you should like properly train as to what exactly is happening in the back. It's not just like the implementation.
Absolutely.
Because I think that would help build your logic, correct? Once you know exactly how things work. Okay. Topics. अभी बात करते हैं hackathons, because I've seen a lot of your posts on LinkedIn. I think you've been to 5 or 6 hackathons, if I'm not wrong, and you won a couple of them, as far as I remember.
Yeah, around that. Yeah. Around that, yes.
So, what is the importance of hackathon? Because something जो मैंने note किया, especially in the Indian industry, because I'm not judging everyone, but India में there's a lot of craze over just doing theory and then not implementing anything. Like that 10th or 11th वाला जो mentality रहता है, right? कि अपन को topper बनना है theory में भाई, लिख के आना है सब. But engineering में वो तो चलता है नहीं. So like there's a drastic. उनका भी fault नहीं है, I guess. वो system ही ऐसा है. They're used to that environment. और फिर engineering में तो फिर वो चलता नहीं. But like they're not able to adapt to that. Like hackathon वो सब के बारे में idea ही नहीं. तो पहले I don't know. Just tell the audience hackathon होता क्या है, and then what you learned from it and why they are important. Like why a lot of people hear about hackathons. Yeah.
Right. So honestly, hackathons. Why would someone do a hackathon? Is like मैं अभी वही बोला कि to learn how to implement something, to learn how to get something done, or to develop something. Because like hackathons, come on, hackathon 24 hours में you have to go from zero to whatever the thing is, and this is not. There's not something like it's not like कि तुम use नहीं कर सकते, ChatGPT नहीं use कर सकते, ये नहीं कर सकते, वो नहीं कर सकते. You can do everything you can. बस करना है. It's like एक goal है, कुछ भी कर लो करने के लिए. That's what a hackathon is. How do you do that is up to you, and I think it's a very good learning curve, because I mean it's not necessary that you go and win a hackathon, but it's necessary that you learn something from a hackathon. It's not like कि तुम हर hackathon में same काम करके आ जा रहे हो तो तुम कुछ सीखोगे नहीं. But like if you go, you learn something. You may win, you may not win, but you have something to put on your CV, and you have something that you're proud of, that
okay, I can do this. This I know this, something like that. So that's what a hackathon basically is. Now hackathons are like AI hackathon, Web3 hackathon, everything's there. But just like identify something that you're interested in. Maybe get into one of those inter college IT events. I think पुणे में भी बहुत ज़्यादा picked कराते रहता है, CIP कराते रहता है. VIT में तो पता नहीं हर ही कोई हैकेथॉन करा रहा है, तो पता नहीं क्या मजा आता है इनको. ऐसे है नहीं, हैकेथॉन करा रहे हैं लोग. But yeah, so it's like you explore. ठीक है, मेरे को ऐप डेव आता है. What else can I add an app, like in my app? How can I add? तो अब मैं ऐसे बैठूंगा किसी दिन की आज मेरे को ये सीखना है, तो not necessary कि वो हो. But if I go to hackathon, it's like मेरे को 4 घंटे में ये करना है क्योंकि 6 घंटे बाद मेरा प्रेजेंटेशन है, तो ये like हाँ ये डन. कैसे किया कुछ आइडिया नहीं उसका. तुम if you go into the code, you're like, oh ये तो बहुत बेकार कोड है. But who cares about that? You just need to get a proof of concept ready. You need to put it up there and like, देख लो हो गया.
Okay.
So that's what a hackathon basically is. And I think it's really important that you get into hackathons at some point of time, not for the winning, because ठीक है जीतते हारते हैं, it's okay, but you learn a lot of things. So I think learning is more important.
Okay. So would you want to talk about the hackathon and just like briefly tell the audience like what it was, what you developed, and yeah.
I mean, I went to quite a few hackathons. So मैं हूँ Team Sunflower में, okay. This is nothing. Team Sunflower, which is not like an official thing, but wherever I go or wherever my friend Amritansh goes, so our team is called Team Sunflower. क्यों? ऐसे ही मजे में. So and first it was not a hackathon. I mean, it was IEEE. There was a project expo. वो था Femunity था. फिर we did Nyay Sahay. That was for SIH. We didn't get shortlisted for SIH, but that's okay. We did quite an end-to-end legal tech solution, which had like lawyers, under trials, and judges, everyone on board. And we wanted to make it like a proper product, but that did not materialize so far. We'll see. We also demoed Nyay Sahay at Google Build with AI बैंगलोर में. गूगल के पास बहुत पैसा है, वो लोग तुम्हें फ्लाइट आइट दे देते हैं कि आओ भाई तुम फ्लाइट लो, खाना लो, सब लो. So we went there. Or there was Hostel Hub, which is like a hostel management solution that we created for VIT. In like it was a intra VIT hostel problem solving hackathon. And yeah, I think those are like the kind of projects I've worked on. Apart from that, there was one CyberX करके एक चीज थी जिसमें हमने Twitter analysis किया था, sentiment analysis करके कि okay, this is a hotspot of vulgar tweets, or this is a hotspot of crime tweets. I don't know, criminal tweets, something like that. So yeah, like that. So those are the kind of things like I've worked on. But there's obviously a lot more as well. Like अभी के लिए इतना काफी है. अभी के लिए इतना काफी है. If anyone wants to know more, they can slide into my DMs, AMSP Singh 04 everywhere. कहीं पे भी तुम इसी में लॉगिन कर लो. लॉगिन नहीं करना है, DM में स्लाइड करना है.
DM करना, वरना लोग हैक करते बैठ के इसका अकाउंट देखते. Okay. So शौर्य, when you went to the hackathon, मतलब पहले hackathon में जब गए थे या तो जनरली गए थे, did you know everything about
कुछ
what?
नहीं आता था.
Okay.
कुछ नहीं आता था. First hackathon I remember was IEEE student body VIT Chennai Haxios. Okay. HAXIOS. And उसमें हमने किया था medical symptom tracking and something पता नहीं क्या किया था हमने. तो it's like तुम medical symptoms डालो and फिर उसको track करते रहो कि अच्छा हो रहा है, बुरा हो रहा है, क्या हो रहा है, क्या नहीं हो रहा है. And we made an app and it was proper Java code. पहले Flutter use नहीं करते थे हम लोग. तो Flutter भी होता है. तो we made that and हमको special mention मिला था. We got special mention in like it's like a 30 team hackathon. We ended up like 8 or 9. We got a special mention. We're like, bro, वाह, इतना बकवास करके भी टॉप 10 में आ गए, ये तो करना जरूरी है. बट इट वाज लाइक अ वेरी बेसिक ऐप. आई थिंक इट्स स्टिल ऑन माय गिटहब. मेरे को वो क्यों है मेरे गिटहब पे मेरे को भी नहीं मालूम, बट इट्स लाइक इट्स देयर बिकॉज़ इट हैज अ सेंटिमेंटल वैल्यू कि ओ हमने कुछ किया था. वेरी वेरी यूजलेस थिंग्स वी डिड, बट हमने किया था.
I ask this question because a lot of people are skeptic. They think that everyone going into the hackathon knows every single detail. They know all the tech stacks well versed. That is what
No,
many
no.
people have. It's like a myth and misconception that we don't know anything, and then everyone else pretty much knows everything. So, like you
I
mentioned,
mean, at some point you have to start. No, तो कहीं से तो start करोगे, तो कहाँ से start करो? कहीं ना कहीं से कर लो, एक hackathon से कर लो. It's like देखो, if you're scared of competition, then there's no point in doing anything.
correct.
If you're scared, so it would be nice if you try to overcome that by doing the exact thing you're scared of. To if there's only like there's this very famous thing by FDR. I think अगर CBSE class 12 वालों को याद होगा कि
Yeah,
the only thing to fear is fear itself. So if you are scared that other people know more than you, fair, but you can still go and learn. That's there.
yeah,
You can, and there's no reason why you cannot learn in 24 hours that which they have learned in like 12 months.
correct.
There's If you go to a hackathon, there's like a 90% chance where that you learn as much as you would have done in like 12 months in one day.
Yeah. So
It's
that,
always there.
yeah,
So you should never, if you have an opportunity and you have a team or if you have an idea कि ये कर सकते हैं, please go.
no.
Very necessary.
The thing I think a hackathon does is it gives you a reality check. It doesn't give anything. Like once you enter that and you see the level that people are doing things, and then you're like,
Hmm.
I haven't really dived deep into this. So I think it's really good. I don't know, just sort of lets you to know, lets you know your level. So like it's a big reality check to be honest. And then I think that's really something that everyone needs at some sort of time because it can't
That's
always.
true. मतलब if you're in engineering और तुम्हें ये नहीं पता कि real life में कोई चल क्या रहा है, दुनिया में क्या चल रहा है, तो फिर तुम engineering कर ही नहीं रहे हो. So you
Correct.
need to know what's happening around. कि
Yeah.
लोग क्या कर रहे हैं, तुम्हारा बाजू वाला क्या कर रहा है. And this is something we do every hackathon. Okay, so ऐसा होता है कि कुछ ऐसा 6 घंटे कोडिंग टियर हो गया, 8 घंटे का कोडिंग टियर हो गया, एंड वी लाइक ओह एग्जॉस्टेड. एंड देन फिर अच्छा वो बंदा क्या कर रहा है, वो क्या कर रही है, एंड फिर ऐसे जाके हाँ भाई कौन हो तुम, मैं वीआईटी चेन्नई से, तुम कहाँ से हो, and then you start talking at like this and then you get ideas also कि oh you're doing this, wow, and फिर आगे gossip भी उसी बात पे होती है. तो like you have to do something for 24 hours 36 hours, no. So
Correct.
it's very natural that you go to hackathons and you get to know what's happening and you meet a lot of people, and it's like introduction to real life.
Yeah. Correct. I think you mentioned some healthcare things. So from that, I'd like to talk about your research intern at NTU because that is something
Hmm.
I'm also very curious about. So how did you get that opportunity, and what exactly did you do? If you just want to tell the audience.
Okay, so I mean, so the research intern was basically a research project that came under this thing called Taiwan Education Experience Program. उसके website पे जाओ, there are a lot of projects you can just apply, and maybe if you get in, you get in. So and it's very nice if an opportunity if you're interested in research or you're interested in like dev. It's very similar to MyTex, but quite distributed. So that's about the program. What I did, I was working in this computational intelligence in biomedical imaging laboratory in NTU that came under like the biomechatronics engineering department. So it was what we essentially worked on was uh, we were detecting cancer from CT scans. So we developed a kind of transformer plus UNet model. It's like UNet does the downsampling and everything, and UNet
Yeah.
does the upsampling and everything. So you have the U arms, With the lower arm, where you have like the CNN model working on the very highly downsampled and very highly segmented images. Instead of having a CNN layer, you're having a transformer layer, which works on that sort of place. And what we did was we essentially did image segmentation of the CT scans to detect where the cancer tumors were, to classify what kind of tumors they were. I mean, they're not cancer tumors, they're tumors. So you first have to determine if they're cancerous or not. And if they are cancerous, then you have to determine what would be the course of action they need to take, that a doctor needs to take to not just diagnose, to treat the cancer. Yeah, it was related to that.
Okay. So yeah. So just to sort of end off, is there anything you'd like to say? Just anything random. I don't even care what you say. Just for CS students and anyone, any sort of tip or something you'd like to say, something you missed out, anything.
Something as a general बात करनी है तो I have like a very general thing कि भाई हो जाता है, stuff happens, like whatever you want will somehow get to you. Time लगेगा, maybe time लग सकता है. I wanted to go to Taipei, and it's okay. This is very funny. So I and my friend Amritansh, we applied for TEEP in January, like in the first week of January, apply कर रहे थे हम लोग. And he got his call on like an interview call on like end of January.
Okay.
And by the start of February, he was like, "Aja, 6 महीने के लिए आजा." He was like, "नहीं 6 महीने के लिए, 2 महीने के लिए आऊँगा, समझ में आऊँगा." It's like they're like, "Chill, aja." And I still have not gotten an interview call, and I was like, I was getting stressed because मेरे को क्यों नहीं आ रहा? What's wrong with my thing? And धीरे धीरे आया. I got like 3 interview calls, and then afterwards I converted all 3 of them. But so it came later for me. It came earlier for him. Both of us eventually did the same thing. Both of us went to different universities, but we got our experiences. We got the stuff done.
Yeah.
So what I would say is, like, if you want something and you're trying to get it towards it, at some point you will get towards it. वो हो जाता है. So don't stress about it. If you're like in the first or second year and you're trying to get something done, it will eventually get done. Just calm down. Just keep consistently working, because like in first and second years you have the time to work, to dedicate, and to be consistent towards one specific goal. As you come like third or fourth, you need to have like results. तुम्हारे पास होना चाहिए कि तुमने ये किया है क्या? Do you know how to do this? Do you know how to do that? Do you know this answer, that answer? Have you done this? But in first, second year, you do not have that pressure. So be consistent and put in the hard work, and I think that will get you somewhere good in life. I mean, something where you want to be, and just chill out. होता है काम होता है. Don't compromise anything. So like you did in JEE, so भाई social life नहीं है, sports नहीं खेल रहा है, कुछ नहीं कर रहा है, बस पढ़ रहा है नहीं. You can chill out. You can.
So thank you so much. I think we can meet in the future for another episode. देखते हैं अभी 1-2 साल और उनके पास, when we achieve something more.
Placement लग जाएगी.
Not at this time, but I think 1-2 साल के बाद we can talk again. It would be really nice. Thank you so much, Shourya, for just coming and sparing some time. Great talking to you.
Yes.